everyone, happy Mercury Retrograde. Today's video is about Mercury Retrograde, what it is and how we can survive it. So to start with, Mercury Retrograde is when we can observe Mercury from Earth and it looks as if it is going backwards in the sky. And as far as I know, Mercury is one of the fastest planets, so it goes retrograde 3 times a year. And we are currently in Mercury retrograde. I did mean to do this video a little bit earlier. So March the 5th, which was last week, just the end of last week, I think, to the 28th of March. So typically goes retrograde 3 times a year and for roughly about 3 weeks. Now, Mercury is also, in mythology, Mercury is also known as Hermes, and Mercury is associated with travel, communication, businesses, merchants, tricksters, and communication. So these are typically the areas that seem to get a bit messed up when Mercury goes retrograde. So what you may experience is you may have some communication breakdowns between you and co-workers, relationships may be a little bit temperamental at this time because of the communication issues, people not really saying what they want to say or thinking that the other person is getting the message, or just really not being clear on what they're wanting or what they expect from the person. Business plans can go a wee bit off kilter as well. You may find you have some electrical issues with TV, software, all that kind of stuff can flare up during this time. Travel plans may fall through. And the question is really, should we believe in all of this? So I would say pay attention to how you feel energetically during this time. Many people feel that it's a time for reflection. It's a time to go into themselves. They maybe just not feel as outgoing as they normally are. They can feel something is in the air, and the energy can be really intense for those of us who are empaths or for those of us that are particularly sensitive to energy. It is, however, a really good time for meditation, reflection. It is not great for starting anything new, but it is a good time for just kind of bringing things to a close if you're wanting to start something new. So it may be that you need to go into the releasing process, tying up all loose ends. Great time for study, and like I said, just a good time for closure. So by paying attention to how you feel during this time, you can then use it to your advantage and make it work for you. And whether or not you believe in astrology, it is interesting, just to see how that works for you. There is a lot of thought and a lot of belief collectively in astrology. So even if you're like, oh, I don't believe in that, there may be part of you which does associate with it. So it's important to kind of like work out what works for you during this time. Ultimately, like, you can tap into it and use it to your advantage, like I just said. But remember that there is nothing in life that you can't overcome. You are source energy. You have the ability to create anything that you want through thought alone. So that's an important thing to remember. So essentially, you can just be like, fuck you, Mercury retrograde. Um, but if you feel like you're not really in that empowered space, if you feel like it is going haywire, just remember to like communicate effectively, double check your travel plans, try avoid signing contracts, or if you do sign contracts, just read the smaller, like the really small print, just go over it and double check everything. Um, or you can just go with it and just see what happens, just release the control. I feel as if Mercury retrograde doesn't really affect me anymore because I have came into my own power recently, and I know how I can shape my own reality. But sometimes, these little safety tips um, that we can have to kind of troubleshoot around an issue, sometimes that can be the start of making us feel more in control and making us feel more empowered. So really do what works for you during this time. Make sure you get lots of rest, drink lots of water. It can be energetically demanding. So check out my next video, which is just coming up, and that is going to be on energy. It's like an energy update, with some guidance on how we can get through this time, what's coming up for you. So I'm going to go make that just now, and I'll see you all later. Bye.